But half of the greatest miracles in your life, nobody can explain. Which is why you got to be careful when you're looking at folk praising God. Because even they can't explain why God's been that good to them. I can't explain how that baby went from a flat line in their hearing to one day there was an up and down movement on their hearing. I cannot explain how when my car hydroplaned in 2013, without me touching the wheel or the gas, my car on I-20 in Atlanta, Georgia, turned straight ahead, facing the right direction, and all the cars behind me just stopped until my car stopped spinning. I can't explain to you how when I fell asleep behind the wheel in D.C., I woke up and there was an island of grass that my car landed on when the rest of the street, it was buildings on both sides. I can't explain to you how he maketh me lie down in green pastures. I can't explain to you how last year I had a death threat on my life and some demonic demon witch said that last year would be my last birthday. I can't explain to you how I saw another birthday and I'm still breathing. I can't explain to you how he opened the Red Sea and Moses' name came through on dry land. I can't explain to you how Peter was able to walk on the liquidity of the water and God constructed a sidewalk in the middle of the sea. I can't explain to you how Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were able to survive in a fire that killed the enemies, throwing them in the fire. I can't explain it. How Daniel was able to go to sleep in a lion's den, and what was supposed to be a golden corral feast ended up being a sleepover. I can't explain to you how one Friday they took my Jesus up a hill called Calvary, and verse 1 of chapter 2 says it was on the third day that this wedding took place. But I know another third day where what was a crucifixion on Friday ended up being a resurrection on Sunday. Can y'all help me have a little Friday church and reach over and shake your neighbor's hand and don't hold it like a dead fish, but hold that hand like you've seen some stuff you can't explain. Hold that hand like the keeper been keeping you, like the healer been healing you, like the way maker been breaking down doors for you. Hold that hand, look them in the face and say, neighbor, I don't know how water turned into wine. Tell them some stuff I just can't explain. Tell them I can't explain how weeping endures for a night, but joy shows up in the morning. I can't explain how even the youth shall faint and get weary, and young men and women shall utterly fall, but somehow they that wait. I'm feeling happy. How much time I got left on the clock? It don't matter now. I can't explain how they that wait on the Lord are able to renew their strength and mount up on wings like eagles and run and not get weary. Is the enemy somewhere and acknowledge it was nothing but God? How you full of yourself and God's trying to make you full of him? Oh, and that's what happens in church. When everybody who's full starts worshiping, an overflow happens. That's why David said, and my cup overflows. You ought to just look at your neighbor and say, tonight you better be careful sitting this close to me. Y'all ain't look at your neighbor. Look right at your neighbor who's not looking at you, trying to act like I didn't just ask them to talk to you. Look right at your neighbor and say, be careful sitting this close to me. Some of my power will overflow on you. Some of this oil will overflow on you. Some of this joy will overflow on you. Some of this praise will overflow on you. You could have walked in sick and tired, but you're going to leave energized and full of the Holy Ghost, because God doesn't work with you halfway. Won't he fill you up? Won't he let you go to a job that's getting on your nerves and you'll be so full of joy that drama has no space to get in you? He filled you up completely. Now watch it now. These stone water pots are used for the Jewish rituals of purification. I'm about to come get you because I know why y'all ain't been helping me, because you trying to figure out what the stone water pot's doing at the wedding. Because when they walk through the door, according to Jewish rituals of purification, you got to wash your hands and you got to at least wash your feet. So these pots have been used to help people get clean. Ain't it something that God will use a dirty pot to perform a miracle? 15 over here, 3 over here, 17 over here. All right, let me rewind that. I said he'll use something dirty and fill it up with some fresh water because he's about to perform a miracle in you. Okay, a few more over here, 2 more nods over here, 3 more hand waves over here. See, y'all acting tonight. I said he'll use something dirty. And that's a good place to shout, because who in here can admit it's some places in me where my whole stone pot may not be dirty, but I got some stuff that has happened to me and I've done in my life I'm not proud of, but I'm glad he'll fill me up in a fickle container. I'm formed differently. Yeah, I'm formed differently. And I'm filled completely. I'm favored uniquely. But lastly and finally, things were fixed miraculously. All this water, 20 to 30 gallons of water put in these stone pots. Jesus said, hey, don't none of y'all touch it. Take it to the master of the wedding. Take it to the head servant of the wedding. And y'all, everybody was already tipsy. Everybody was already relaxed. Everybody was already enjoying themselves. But when the master servant dipped his wine glass into the water, somewhere, old preachers will say, somewhere between the dipping and the sipping, Desani turned into Chardonnay. Essentia turned into Malbec. Fiji turned into Pinot Grigio. And the master of the wedding said, you all have saved the best for last. See, usually what they do is give the best during the beginning when everybody is still sober, and they give the worst wine at the end because folks so tipsy they don't even know what they drinking anymore. Keep looking straight ahead before you tell a testimony you don't mean to tell. He said, but at this wedding, y'all done saved the best wine for last. Here it is. Nobody can explain to this day how that water turned into wine. But half of the greatest miracles in your life, nobody can explain. Which is why you got to be careful when you're looking at folk praising God. Because even they can't explain why God's been that good to them. I can't explain how that baby went from a flat line in their hearing to one day there was an up and down movement on their hearing. I cannot explain how when my car hydroplaned